Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com. In this video, I'm going to talk about what chemotherapy feels like. And I want to kind of get into the nitty-gritty of this a little bit because I've been getting asked this question a fair amount lately, especially since I had treatment 7 days ago at this point. And I think it's important to try to share this the best way that I can with everyone, just so that you all can kind of get an idea of what it feels like. Now, this is kind of geared towards, obviously caregivers and patients, new patients that are, just gone through diagnosis. Now they're trying to figure out what to expect next when they start chemotherapy. Now, I just want to, before I begin, please hit subscribe below and hit the bell for notifications so you know when I put a new video out. Now, the main reason why I wanted to do this video, one, is because I've been getting this question asked a lot lately of what does it feel like? What's it feel like to go through chemotherapy? And I think the easiest way and the simplest way to really explain what this feels like is it's kind of like, for those of you that have partaked in adult beverages, kind of gone a little bit deep with them and had fun with your friends and family and whatever, and you feel that hangover the next day. Well, it's like a hangover. It's like a bad hangover that lasts for days, multiple days on end. For this last round, this last bout that I went through, so it's been 7 days since my infusion last, this past week, and I want to kind of break it down kind of as the timeline happens, because I think for that you'll get more of an appreciation of what it really is going on, what's happening, and why it does what it does, and why it makes you feel the way it does. So I can't say that this is how it's going to feel for every single cancer patient that goes through chemotherapy, but I have a pretty good idea that this is how it is for a huge majority of us, and for us patients that have to go through this. So my chemotherapy regimen consists of a 2-day regimen every 21 days. And what that means is that I have 2 chemotherapies that I do on the first day, which is on, let's say, a Tuesday. And then I have, I come back the next day and I do one more infusion on a Wednesday in the morning. And then I'm done for the next 21 days. So Tuesday and Wednesdays are kind of the infusion day. You kind of just, you get a little bit tired, just because, one, they give you, in my case, they gave me Benadryl to kind of help with the nausea of the chemo, and then they give some other pre-med stuff, whatever, too, and then they give you the chemotherapy. And since I have a port, it's a lot easier. They can just basically tap in and just give me the meds, which is actually kind of nice. I did the first 12 rounds of chemotherapy through my arms, through all my veins, and that was really difficult. And then the 13th, 14th, and 15th, I ended up having a PICC line in my arm, and I also had a catheter in my chest for when I did my transplant. So this was my 16th round of chemo in 10 years. So that kind of helps give you some perspective of this. And so I did the 2 rounds of chemotherapy over 2 days. And then I ended up, the next day, the Thursday, is when I started to kind of feel the effects really kind of kick in. And I ended up spending a good majority of Thursday just kind of sleeping and resting and just taking it easy. I had the intention of going into work on Friday, which I did, and just worked that day. I took it super easy, and by about 3 o'clock is when I kind of tapped out. I was like, I've had enough, guys. I sent a text to everyone in the group and just was like, I've had enough. I'm done. Thanks, guys. I'm coming back to the shop, and I'm going to go home. And I ended up going coming home Friday after work, and had a little bit of dinner, and I just went to bed, and I ended up sleeping for about 36 hours approximately. I did get up on Saturday for a little bit, and just to kind of move around. Fell asleep back out on the couch watching TV. So, but what it really feels like, it really does. It feels like just a bad hangover, like a full body hangover. Like, I don't know if you've ever had those or not, and it just lasts for days, and that's why it's really important to rest. I mean, you feel nauseous. You just feel like sick, and not necessarily that you're gonna throw up per se. Like, at least for me, I didn't feel like I was necessarily gonna throw up, but I just felt nauseous. My stomach was just churning, but I was still hungry, and so I was still eating. So I was just kind of just rolling with it. In this last bout, or in my first reoccurrence bout, I didn't take any anti-nausea medicine, which I will do moving forward with this. I just really needed to know kind of what my baseline was, and this is a brutal way of doing it, but I needed to know what my baseline was, so I can kind of help predict what I'm going to be dealing with per treatment moving forward. So I basically, the Friday that I went and worked that was a pretty brutal day. I had some help, which was great, and I just took my time. Coworker Danny ended up helping do kind of all the heavy lifting, which was great, and kudos and thank you very much for that. And it just, if you've ever gone to work hungover, you're just like, just tired, you're fatigued, you're just, you just don't feel good, you just don't want to be there, and that's pretty much kind of how I felt about it. And so that hangover feeling, and alcohol is really the easiest way to try to explain this, because it I feel most closely represents how you feel as you're going through treatment. So through work, and then I ended up sleeping pretty much the whole next day on Saturday, and then Sunday I started to feel a little better. I was still pretty nauseous, but I told myself I needed to get up and I needed to start moving. I needed to kind of get the circulatory system moving and whatever. So I actually came out here to the studio, and but I rode my bike out here. It's about less than 3 miles, and I just took my time, and it felt really good to pedal and just have some wind blowing in the hair that I don't have, and just really enjoyed being outside and feeling the fresh air and feeling just good overall. Just needed to have that feeling of feeling good overall. And I ended up cutting a video on Sunday, and after that I ended up riding back into town. I kind of took a longer route and just kind of cruise. I kind of went with no intention and just enjoyed pedaling, just took my time, not really, like I said, had no intention involved, and made my way home, and then I ended up passing out that next day, or that night. And then Monday I ended up going for a bigger bike ride, and I actually felt a lot better because I got out and I did something. I got moving, I got the body flowing, I got the circulatory system working, and that's why it felt really good. So with that said, the hangover side of it, just feeling like shit, the one big notice that I had, good notice, which I noticed this immediately, was after I woke up Thursday morning, I didn't wake up with a big cough like I have had for the last month and a half, 2 months. And that immediately told me that the regimen that we started is working. It's fighting and it's attacking, because I can I don't know if I'm necessarily breathing better or not yet. I mean, that's going to be a little bit of time to tell. But I can tell you that, like, the breathing doesn't feel so labored, and I'm not coughing. I don't feel like I'm coughing up phlegm. So it's doing something really positive right now. And that was absolutely noticeable. And that just kind of helped enough with the mindset going through this just absolutely horrible body feeling, that I know that something good is happening. I know that it's working, and I know that it's going to be a good thing. So, now it's, like I said, 7 days since my second day of infusion, and I actually feel really good. That bike ride I did on Monday was just, I ended up getting a sweat going. I didn't push myself super hard, but I just it felt good to be pedaling. I again went out with no intention, ended up riding about 12 miles, climbed about 1,600 feet, and by the time I got home and everything, I just, I honestly, I felt a lot of gratitude and a lot of appreciation, and that's kind of where I left it at, and ended up and just kind of left, and I ended up sleeping really good that night, and it's actually been kind of nice. I've actually been sleeping really, really good for the last couple weeks now, probably about 2 or 3 weeks. So, and I'll actually cut another video kind of letting you know why I think that's happening, because I'm actually doing some alternative and some cannabis stuff that's really, I think, helping me with the sleep side of it, and that's been huge in the long run. So yeah, that's really the easiest and best way that I can explain it. It's like being hungover for days on end, and it pretty much sucks. That's the easiest way to put it. It's a bear. It's a little bit depressing, and the best way to kind of deal with that is, for the first couple days, is just rest. Let your body rest, sleep. You want to try to eat as much as you can, because you need to keep everything going. And and one other thing that you need to do is take some stool softeners. Yes, that's kind of an important one. I was a little bit backed up because of, I think, just the meds and how it kind of works, and because the chemotherapy is doing a lot of cell killing, bad cell killing, and very targeted cell killing right now. My body was trying to flush it out, and it wasn't necessarily doing it as fast as I wanted. So I will be on a little bit more of a stool softener through the next bit also. So yeah, that's kind of it in a nutshell. Get some exercise to kind of start working the chemotherapy out probably after day 3, and then just kind of, you got to bear the grunt and force yourself through it, and just know that your body, once your body starts to recover, you start to feel better, and things start to kind of move forward. So yeah, that's what chemotherapy feels like. That's what I've been doing to try to help battle this. This is what I did back in 2009, 2010, when I was going through lymphoma the first and second time, and now I'm kind of redoing this again. So yeah, if you have any questions, by all means, hit me in the comments section below, and let me know if you are going through cancer, what kind of cancer you have, and what you are doing as a treatment regimen. And if you're a survivor, what are you doing now to help kind of get more in touch with your body, so you might be a little bit ahead of the curve if you do have a reoccurrence. So I'd be really curious to know kind of what you guys are, what you're thinking, and by all means, like I said, hit me in the comment section below. So hey, just want to let you know, I really appreciate your time and your energy in watching the videos. I can't thank you enough, and just thank you all. And I will talk to you, and I will see you on the next video.